The Great Wealth Transfer, a significant movement of wealth from baby boomers to younger generations, is expected to be a major event in Canadian history. This transfer, estimated at $1 trillion by 2026, is largely driven by real estate wealth accumulated by boomers. This shift could have widespread economic and social impacts, potentially exacerbating existing wealth disparities and creating new challenges for the next generation. Joining us now to discuss the Great Wealth Transfer is Brendan Caldwell, Director at Caldwell Securities Limited. Thanks for joining us, Brendan.
Hey, Julie, that was a wild segue from not having enough housing in Toronto
Right?
and anywhere else in the province and basement apartments, basically hobbit holes being counted toward Toronto getting money for missing its
Exactly.
target, to how much money the baby boomers are going to give away with all the houses they're
I
valued
know.
to live in.
So
That was a
talk
wild segue, Julie.
so talking about that, what's the biggest mistake families are making today when passing the torch on?
The biggest single mistake that any family can make may also be the hardest to overcome,
Okay.
culturally, emotionally. Have an open and honest conversation
Hmm.
about what the parents' intent is for their kids, for their grandkids, for their estate. It is so much better. I've seen it professionally and personally, so much better when people actually talk to their kids. As intimidating and terrifying as that sounds, there are so many reasons people don't want to talk to their kids. Their kids, I mean, aside from the fact their kids may be jerks, I'm not moving myself out of that one. Um, that there's cultural baggage around it, there's emotional baggage around it. There's a parent, frankly, the parents may be afraid they're going to be bullied by their kids into doing something they don't want to do. But if you would like to a greater degree of family harmony, you've seen it. I mean, it's been very public at the very wealthiest families in Canada, where the patriarch passed away and didn't have a full and open
Mm.
conversation, down to when my great grandmother died. She left $30,000 split 5 ways between my aunt, my uncle, my father, my brother, and me. 30 grand split 5 ways. And there's $1984, I grant you. She gave us a share because we went to visit her. So,
Mm.
you know, just have the conversation. Otherwise, in areas large and small, there will be conflict, no matter how you do it, absent your children's ability to ask questions.
So, how can an investment advisor help Canadians best prepare themselves to transfer wealth to their kids?
Try and facilitate the conversation. I know I'm a broken record on this. Yeah, it's easier to have a mediated conversation. I can understand why certain parents would be intimidated sitting down by their kids. I've known parents that are afraid of being bullied about things medical, financial, and otherwise by their kids. And by the time you're 70 odd, 80 odd, 90 odd, you might not feel you have all the energy to fight back.
Mm.
Um, and it may matter more to the kids than it does to you, so they may be fighting a little harder. So I can see that. But if you have a mediated conversation with somebody else, with your investment advisor there to talk it through and provide a sounding board, we tend to be on our best manners when we're not only we. I'm going to phrase it this way: we save our second best manners for the people we love. Having a professional in there can just raise the courtesy game a little bit.
Okay, let's talk about the proposed capital gains tax increase from last year, which could seriously affect this wealth transfer. Do you trust Carney's word that he's scrapping it?
Well, look, today he came out and said he's going to spend an extra $9 billion on the defense industry. So I don't know where that extra money is coming from, or how you spend an extra $9 billion on defense between, this fiscal year. But I'm encouraged to the fact that he does seem to be doing some genuinely conservative things, like building up defense, and the idea that he's not going to raise that tax, and yet is apparently also going to raise or if they haven't done it already, the capital gains exemption, which went from, I think, $1 to $1.25 million. So it has been said that Mark Carney is the best conservative prime minister Canada never had.
Okay, well, StatsCan says if your parents own a house, then you're twice as likely to own one too. How is the bank of mom and dad warping the market?
Yeah, it's a particular sort of evil, and I'm not immune to this. My parents own a house, I own a house, and I spend a significant part of my brain power, my wife and I do, trying to figure out how exactly we're gonna organize a house for our 4 children,
Mm.
and, 4 being as many as you can have and still be a Protestant. We are we're working that through, but it's if you don't own a house yourself, it's very hard to conceive of your kids owning a house in this day and age because I think this is maybe the first generation that has some basis to believe that they're going to have a challenging time being better off than their parents were, unlike every generation that's preceded them.
You know, 1 in 3 small business owners are retiring with no successor. So, are local jobs at risk when boomers cash out?
Well, my father may retire with no successor, um, if he ever retired, which he won't, and if he outlasts me, which he might. So it's a thing. And no, not everybody wants to go into the family business. It takes a special sort of well, for want of a better word, crazy to work in a family business because it has its own dynamics. And you may, notwithstanding the family dynamics, and my father and I have got along well and accomplished some great things, but you may not want to be in that trade. So an alternative for business owners is to look at employee share ownership plans.
Mm.
There is nothing, if your children don't want to do it, the people that have committed your lives to you professionally, the people you work with, work for, partner with, finding ways for them to take over the legacy of your business. Because for a business owner, for a business founder in particular, it's about a dream and about creating a thing to do it differently and better in a new way than anybody else has ever done. And if your kids aren't buying into that dream, there's absolutely no reason that people that have worked with you for years or decades in many cases can't, not just emotionally and spiritually, but literally buy into that. So making that possible may be a good succession plan.